meditating on the benefits of meditating on a wheel of life, the origin of the wheel of life, and a symbolism diagram of the wheel of life. The benefits of contemplating and meditating on the diagram. With Dharma wisdom, if we contemplate and meditate on the meaning of the diagram of the wheel of life, we can gain many experiences and realisations on the stages of the path to enlightenment. We can develop the realisations of the stages of the path of a small being, which include the great value and rarity of this precious human life, death and impermanence, realising the sufferings of the lower realms, to gain protection from the lower realms, going for refuge to the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, and a subtle understanding of dynamic relationship, cause and effect. King Bimbisara gained this realisation, as well as direct realisation of emptiness, by the way. But we can improve our understanding of the law of karma. We can develop the realisations of the stage of the path of a middle being, for example, the Four Noble Truths, true sufferings, true origins, true cessations and true paths. We can realise the 12 dependent related links, which is on the outer rim of the wheel of life, the mirror of Dharma that's held by the symbolic representation of the Lord of Death in the painting. And renunciation and the three higher trainings. So by staring at this beautiful, blessed diagram of the wheel of life with faith, looking into the mirror of Dharma, the mirror of our own actions and the results of our own actions, we can develop compassion for ourselves, which essentially is renunciation, the joyful mind of renunciation. And we can practice the three higher trainings: training in higher moral discipline, training in higher concentration, and training in higher wisdom. They are higher trainings because we're motivated by the joyful mind of renunciation. And we can develop realisations of the stages of the path of a great being, for example, great compassion, great love, bodhicitta, tranquil abiding, and superior seeing. To what could be more meritorious than this? Rely upon this wheel of life diagram given to King Bimbisara by the Buddha himself. Who taught all of his subjects of his kingdom, and they all attained liberation. If we rely upon this diagram with faith, we can accomplish all of the stages of the path to enlightenment. We can look at it, if we wish to, we can look at it every day. You'll never come to understand in wisdom why I suffer from looking at the news. We're often looking at the news, wondering what's coming next, what are the new rules, what's the government going to do next, what are they going to do next, whoever they are. No, we're never going to find answers to why we are ourselves suffering and how we can stop this suffering by looking at the news. We can never find answers to why we're suffering and how we can stop this suffering by going to the National Gallery, by comprehending, by witnessing the greatest works of art. We can never do this. Whatever special, particular qualities those paintings have, they will never result in our liberation from suffering. Only the diagram of the wheel of life gives us this meaningful purpose in life to attain liberation from this cycle of suffering. Even if we contemplate deeply the most sublime paintings and works of art, we cannot gain the benefits that compare with the benefits of contemplating and meditating on the wheel of life, because this path reveals the entire path to liberation and enlightenment. Other works of art may hold our attention for some time, and they may make their artist famous and his dealer rich, but they cannot communicate so vast and profound a meaning to those who behold and meditate upon them. So the vast and profound meaning in our life comes from contemplating and meditating every day on this wheel of life. The origin of the wheel of life. The origin of the wheel of life is explained in Extensive Enjoyment Sutra and in other sutras. According to these, a king called Bimbisara once received a marvellous gift from a friend. This friend lived in a religious country, and he was so wealthy that the king could not think of anything to give in return. He asked Buddha, "My friend already possesses so many things. What is the best gift I can offer him?" Buddha knew that his friend was ready to receive Dharma, and so he explained to the king how to draw the diagram of the wheel of life in all its detail. He then said to the king, "Give this diagram to your friend and he will definitely be satisfied." Excuse me, it was King Bimbisara's friend, who was also a king. I think it was King Ajatashatru. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's in the Wheel of Life DVD from tarpa.com. A beautiful movie I recommend you watch. It's also in Joyful Path of Good Fortune. As soon as King Bimbisara's friend beheld the diagram, he developed a special feeling, even though he had never received any Dharma teachings. When he read a verse that Buddha had written at the bottom of the diagram, he immediately understood the meaning of the wheel of life. Make effort to destroy it. Enter into Buddha Dharma. Eliminate the Lord of Death, as an elephant destroys a grass hut. He developed the realization of renunciation and gained a direct realization of emptiness. Then he began to teach his people, and when they studied and meditated upon the 12 dependent related links, they also gained the realization of subtle dependent related phenomena and a direct realization of emptiness. In this way, they entered the spiritual paths of superior beings. King Bimbisara's friend was able to gain a direct realization of emptiness, independence upon 3 things. 1. The ripening of good karmic potentialities from his previous lives. 2. Receiving the inspiration of Buddha. And 3. Beholding the diagram of the wheel of life. Right? So we don't know, but we could have good karmic potentialities from previous lives within our mind, buried in our consciousness, in our subtle mind. We can, and we probably do, receive the inspiration of Buddha. We certainly do if we have a daily Lamrim meditation practice, complete with the preparatory prayers, relying upon peaceful and wrathful Manjushri, Jaya Sankalpa, and Daja Shugden. Certainly we do. The third cause, don't forget, is beholding the diagram of the wheel of life. So that means, with faith, we get out our picture, our framed picture of the diagram of the wheel of life, we dust it off, and then we look at it and behold it every day, asking Buddha's blessings for us to gain realisations of every stage of the path to enlightenment. Because every stage of the path to enlightenment and a full explanation of why we suffer in samsara is contained in an extraordinary work of art from Buddha himself, that is the diagram of the wheel of life. The diagram of the wheel of life. The diagram of the wheel of life represents all the environments of samsara and all the beings who inhabit them. It reveals the nature of samsara and the paths that take and keep us there. The first wheel in the centre is 3 animals representing ignorance, anger and attachment, represented by a pig, a snake and a pigeon. The second wheel is half white and half black in the centre and the first wheel, which represents higher rebirths of humans, demigods and gods, and lower rebirths